The opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and are not those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. The phone lines are open. Call in with your questions and comments at 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU. It's time for Stuart Laser Talk with your host, Dr. Tred J. Rissacher.
I'm 5'10" and 242 pounds.
I always say this is the biggest I'm ever going to be, and I said that like 20 pounds ago.
A third of Americans are obese, another third is overweight.
Obesity is the biggest threat to the health, welfare, and future of this country.
I've always been overweight.
I've got diabetes.
Sleep apnea, heart disease.
Everything's hurting now.
It's a lot easier to lose weight than it is to keep weight off.
This is probably going to be the first generation of children who are going to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents.
18% of our children right now are obese.
It's not only health, it's about survival and well-being of the United States as a nation.
You don't crave broccoli, and our generation has grown up craving a Big Mac.
I want to think that there's something better for me.
Unless we're able to control this epidemic, we're going to have an abundance of chronic disease.
All of us have to be part of the solution to reduce obesity.
The weight of the nation is out of control, but we can fix that.
If we don't now take this as a really urgent national priority, we are all going to pay a really serious price.
Obesity will crush the United States in oblivion.
Good morning, Stuart, Florida. My name is Dr. Tred Rissacher, and I am a chiropractor, and I'm practicing here in Stuart, Florida at the Slim Body Laser Spa. We're located on East Ocean Boulevard, right down the street from the beaches, across the street from the Fresh Market, and we are open because we're a medical health care facility, believe it or not. We call it a Slim Body Laser Spa, but it is a registered, licensed office with the state of Florida Department of Health. And we are creating healthier people through the removal and the easy reduction of body fat. And that's really what we're doing there. I'm using a laser to help you to get rid of body fat. And we have a 98% success rate with anyone that comes in and gets screened and we sign up for this process. This is a laser. It is not a weight loss food restriction program. We use a laser to help target the outer fat, the stuff that you carry on the outside of your body, the subcutaneous fat, the stuff you can squeeze with your fingers. And in a series of 9 30-minute sessions over 3 weeks, you can lose 1 to 6 to even 9 inches of belly fat in only 3 weeks, literally lying on your back listening to music. When you lose belly fat on our laser, your body fat percentage goes down. Your body fat percentage gets less. So normal body fat would be between 20 to 25 to 24%. So if you weigh 100 pounds and 24 pounds is fat, that's a good normal amount of body fat. So that's 20 to 24%. If you weigh 200 pounds, then 40 to 44 pounds is considered safe body fat level. Now, if you weigh 300 pounds and 20% is body fat, you're just a very big, heavy person with very normal metabolism because the body fat percentage needs to be under 25%. That's considered healthy. And anytime you start going over 25% with body fat, you are in serious risk of a whole bunch of different problems. Now, we teach that all over the internet. Dr. Oz, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, any talking head doctor that you're hearing about there, they keep telling us about obesity, how it's a crisis, how it's super, super unhealthy to be obese, that yet we're not really doing anything about it as a culture, as a race. In fact, we're fatter than we've ever been. And I'm aware of that. I see it all the time. 10 years ago in my chiropractic practice in 2000, I couldn't believe how much it had changed. I watched people, when I was first grew up in practice in the early 90s, there was very few really heavy people around. I mean, there was some obesity, but it wasn't a crisis. And then in the next 25 to 30 years, it turned into a juggernaut of a crisis. We have right now in our population of adults, male and female, we are 80% of America is considered overweight. And that means they have a body fat higher than 25%. So that's 25 to 30%. That's 80% of you. If you're listening to this and there's 8 people listening, if there's 10 people listening in a room to my radio program, 8 of you are overweight. And that's just a statistic. And from that statistic, that 80% of you out there, if you're a female, 40% of that 80% are considered obese. And that would be over 30% body fat. That's very, very sad. These people that are female adults in America, our mothers, our sisters, our cousins, our aunts, people we love, people we care for, people that took care of us when we were young, nurses. If you're a female and you live in America and you're over 18 years old, 40% of you are obese. And that means over 30% body fat. And, this is really critically important to understand this, because body fat is probably the leading cause of decreased immune response, inability to fight off disease. Body fat is an inflammatory process where you have inflammation all the time from it. It puts stress on your cardiovascular system, on your heart, because 1 pound of extra fat requires a mile of blood vessels to pump blood into it. Fat is inactive tissue. It doesn't produce anything but store calories. Of course, it's part of your hormonal system, but it's not, you don't have energy reserves are not found in fat. The energy reserves, if you were to get sick today or tomorrow, come from your muscle tone and something called glycogen, which is within your body, stores glucose in the form of glycogen. 20% of the mass of your liver is pure glycogen, and glycogen is the energy that your muscles need to contract and relax and to do its job, which means moving through the world, walking, exercising, pumping blood, moving the lungs in and out, respiration, squeezing the different glands that require muscular contraction, such as your salivary glands and your pancreas and your gallbladder. These are glands that require muscular contraction to work. And what happens is when we become very low in muscle, when we become higher in body fat, more than 20 to 25%, and you get into 30%, which is obese. And I just did a BMI yesterday, and the very nice girl, 56 years old, she had a body fat of 46%. And that means she has super low muscle tone. When you have high body fat, you've got low muscle tone. They go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. So if you're running around with, obesity, and you are, just know that your muscle tone is really low. And your muscle tone That is where you store the energy to fight off an infection. That is where you get the energy to fight off a viral attack or a bacterial infection. You lose muscle tone is what your body uses to fight infection, not fat. Okay. My mom, wonderful person, died 4 years ago. And it started out as a loss of blood anemia. And that was the only really symptom we had, was that she was anemic and she'd be tired, and she was in her 80s. And one day, she was shaking. She was so fatigued. And the family got together and we got her to go to the hospital, which was quite a chore because my mom did not believe in going to the hospitals. And we went in there, we found out that she was bleeding internally from something. It ended up being a lesion in her colon, but then she became anemic, she needed a blood transfusion. And as a result of that, she ended up in the hospital, and they did the GI study, and they found out that she had a tumor in her colon, and it was primary. And then after they got her blood back to normal with the transfusions, then we had to opt for this procedure to have this tumor removed from her colon. And it was a stage 1. It had not metastasized. There was no visible metastasization. The lymph nodes were all intact. They were able to remove the tumor and resect the bowel without a problem. Of course, her problems didn't end on that day. She ended up having a metastasis to other parts of her body from that primary tumor in the colon. Everything goes into the liver, all of your waste products and all of your blood supply. So it's very common for a colon cancer to metastasize into the liver. And that's exactly what happened. About 4 months later, her liver enzymes were over the roof. And we opted for not doing chemo. So what happened is she ended up in the hospital. And I watched, and I've had other people go in the hospital before, but not my mom. And I know her very well. I know her energy levels. And she was not obese at all. My mother always maintained a very normal body fat, but she really hadn't been exercising that much because of the anemia. This 2 or 3 years leading up to this problem, she was pooped out. She was pooped. And that means, not a lot of exercise, no walking at night. And so she had very low muscle tone. And when she went in for this procedure, and then we found out that she had metastasis to her liver, and she had a few complications where she spent more than a week or 2 in the hospital dealing with this. Every time she came out, she was weaker and weaker and weaker. She was to the point where she couldn't even really turn over in bed. She was so weak. To stand up, was not going to happen. She had to sit in a chair. And this was not because of the illness. This was because of the fact that her body used the muscle tone to fight the infection and to give her energy to get through this process. Now, obviously, it was a terminal process, and she did pass away. But I realized how important muscle tone is when you're sick. So I talked to several doctors that were there, some of the surgeons, and they all went. And I told them what I did as a profession, that I have the Slim Body Laser Spa, and I'm using a laser to reduce body fat without exercise or diet. And of course, their ears perk up. What do you mean without? That's impossible. And I thought the same thing, but you have to understand that my laser attacks the outside fat, not the inner fat. The fat on the outside is just as much of a health risk as the inner fat. And the laser, in a series of 30-minute sessions, releases about 600 calories each time you apply the laser to the fat. And those 600 calories, if you don't exercise and burn them right away, they'll be restored somewhere else as fat. They'll go back into fat. The body will restore them. It doesn't squander calories. So we time after the laser. You don't eat food for 2 hours before the laser. So you come in a little hungry. You enjoy the laser on your back, 30 minutes. And then you step on a whole body vibration machine, which is a room. We have 3 of these wonderful moving plates. Basically, it's a plate that you stand on and it moves. And that movement causes your muscles to contract to keep your balance. And while it's moving and sending these waves of energy through your muscles, it's exercising the muscles, and that's helping to burn away the fatty calories that the laser released. So after the 1 hour, you're 30 minutes on the laser, 10 to 20 minutes on whole body vibration, you have efficiently released and consumed those 600 calories are burned as energy. And you have an introduction, and on a body fat analysis machine, after 3 weeks or more, you can lose 2 to 5% of your body fat percentage. So when I did this process, and I'm going to go into exactly why body fat is so critically a problem. There's some incredible articles that came out. I've been reading about this COVID-19, and there's some articles and some opinions about being overweight and obesity. And this is from doctors, not from me. And I'm going to read these, that the huge risk of a complication, if you were to get COVID-19, and it seems to me that I think we're all going to get it eventually over time. That's what pandemics do. That's what viruses do. They move through the population. The reason why we're social distancing right now, the reason why we're not sharing with each other is we don't want it to happen too fast. If it happens too fast, then our healthcare system becomes overwhelmed. And when the healthcare system is overwhelmed, then people die because of a lack of facilities, a lack of beds, a lack of ventilators. So the purpose for the social distancing, just so you understand this, is to slow down the perpetual, most likely transmission of this new virus, this novel virus, they call it. And that is why we're social distancing. But what I'm reading and what I'm learning is it seems like, I don't want to say everybody's going to get it, but a darn large percent of us eventually are going to have this to deal with. They just did a bunch of testing in Iceland. 50% of the population tested positive for COVID-19 in Iceland. And what they said is that they have very few symptomatic people there, that, they have very few deaths. I don't know the exact statistic, but they said that they did so much testing and they found out that 50% of their population already has COVID. And the test proved it, but they're not symptomatic. They're not showing any health problem, just like the flu in many ways. Not saying that COVID's the same as the flu. It's definitely not. So what really comes down to the realization is, listen, this is not going to go away for us. It's not going to go away by Easter. It's not going to go away by the end of April. We're going to go back to our normal lives again of opening up our businesses and dealing with each other and handshaking and hugging and all the things that happen that humans do. You just can't prevent that. But you want to make really, really sure that you have put in the work necessary to be healthy, to be healthier than you are right now. If I asked everybody here, and I've done this in lectures and talks before, I said, how many people believe they're healthy? And, I do a lot of talks to natural practitioners and stuff, healthy people, and they'll all will put up their hand. Yeah, I feel I'm healthy. And I said, hey, let me ask you a question. How many people feel they could be healthier? That they could benefit from being more healthy? They all put up their hand. There you go. And what my goal here is today, and this is something I've been really looking at this and researching, is the number one cause of being unhealthy and the number one, what they call comorbidity, which is something which occurs, which can lead you to die sooner, is being overweight, being obese. And it has a whole bunch of health risks that come with it. So that's what I'm going to go over today. I'm going to explain a little bit about this so you really understand that, hey, listen, do not stop eating better. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do to become healthier. And it's very, very basic, common sense stuff. I just did a BMI analysis on one of my clients who came in a couple weeks ago due to the COVID and all these problems. We didn't have a chance to do her initial workup, and I did it yesterday. And when I got the BMI report back, which we did in my office, it showed that half of her body weight, or 46%, had become adipose tissue or fat. So that means that 50% of her body mass is fat. And that doesn't mean that the other half is all muscle, because obviously it's not. And she's very, very low in muscle tone. She's in her 50s. She's not a huge risk. She doesn't have any other health problems to speak of. And then when I looked at the total body water, how hydrated she was, her hydration levels were down at under 40% of her body was water. And that you need to have 60 to 70% of your body should be water. And when you get down under 50%, you are chronically dehydrated. And then I found out that the person doesn't like to drink water. I don't really like water. Okay. That's kind of weird, but I hear it all the time. So where are you getting your fluid? Well, I get it from coffee, and I get it from teas, and I get it from the Crystal Light, and I get it from all these different things. And it's not creating any really water nutrition within her body when you don't have water. And the number one cause of sickness and illness and an inability to fight infection or viruses is dehydration. When you go into a hospital and they know you've been sick for a day or two, the first thing they do is they run an IV and they start pumping in plasma, water, saline into your bloodstream. They know you're dehydrated. Yet you're walking around every day here in this beautiful town we live in, and most of you are dehydrated. Come on. Try cleaning your dishes without water. Try doing anything without water. Water is a universal solvent. It's an electrolyte. It has an effect of it is critically important for all of your immune functions to work is to drink enough water. Yet you pass by the water jug and you won't drink it. Now you can wrap yourself in cellophane. You could wrap your face with tissues and masks and sanitize every part of your house, and you're walking around dehydrated and you think you're going to be okay. This is common sense. And also, you're walking around with high body fat because you can't give up your sweets. It's more important that you have a bagel in the morning, knowing you're obese, knowing you have body fat. It turns to fat. It doesn't turn to muscle. Only protein turns to muscle. Carbohydrates don't become muscle. And that's creating high body fat. And you're at a high risk of becoming a statistic if you were to get COVID-19. Now, I'm not making this up. I am telling you the truth. One of my very good friends, Dr. Keith Castello, for any of you that know Stuart, Florida, his family was lived out on Kenner Highway, and Keith became a chiropractor many years ago, and he still contacts me. He's over in the hotbed of Washington State. He's a chiropractor over there, and he sent me this really nice. It's called COVID-19 Prevention Concepts and Self-Monitoring. That's what it is. And this is his own opinion. This came right directly from Dr. Fauci. Now, if you don't know who Dr. Fauci is, then you haven't been watching TV. This guy you want somebody like him running the show. He speaks well. He's not a heretic, but I can tell you that if you get him away from his political position, he has a lot of understanding and opinions. So this little piece I'm going to read to you came directly from Dr. Fauci's skills and knowledge. And I'm going to go over this. I think this is important to know because I was just sitting here with our wonderful host, and he was talking about the importance of getting a mask and how critical it is and how you have to take care of it. And, I'm right away saying to myself, well, that's the last way you're going to be exposed is through breathing somebody's stuff in. That's the last way it's going to happen. The way you're going to get exposed to COVID is you're going to touch something that somebody else had touched and then rub your face. And they've proven that. So here's the thing. So these are preventive concepts. Pay attention, please. This could save your life or somebody else. Number one, think of your home. By the way, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Dr. Rissacher, Slim Body Laser Spa. We are open, by the way. We hold strict sanitary protocols. We have a hand washing station in front of the office. When you come in, it's a tub that you'd see at your washroom. It's piped into to the hose there, and we have soap and we have clean towels, and you can wash your hands before you come into the spa. And then when you leave, you can wash your hands again. I think every one of you should have a way of washing your hands at your door, right out in front of your door, whether it's a sink, whether it's a hose, whether it's some soap and a way of dry. You don't even need towel to dry your hand. You can air dry. But to be able to go to your house and wash off germs before you go into your house is really the first step to prevent this. So here it is. Think of your home as your sanctuary. You need to clean it top to bottom, especially hard surfaces, metal, doorknobs, etc., etc. Clean all of your bed linens and your clothes every time, every day. Then relax. If there's no one is currently sick or no one has been in contact with any known COVID-19 sources, your personal space is now at least clean and should be free from COVID-19. So let me ask you, how clean is your house? How clean are you when you go in? Are you taking showers? Are you, so when you enter your house, and you may have been somewhere where there's a COVID-19, and that's everywhere, go straight to the shower. Put your clothes in a hamper. COVID-19 should die in a few hours in the hamper. And those are the best estimates. So no need to do laundry every time. Wipe all of the surfaces with a 70% alcohol that you have touched upon re-entering your home. And don't forget the doorknob. And then relax. So in New York, on the wonderful resort areas called Fire Island, and if you're from New York, you're probably hiding out here in Stewart with us, and that's just fine. We love you. But you've been to Fire Island. They have, for every house that's on the beach, they have an outside shower. I think that is a wonderful idea. So you go to your house, and you've been at the Home Depot, you've been at the Publix, you went to Walgreens, you touched a bunch of stuff. Now, nobody sneezed on you, and you maybe, you don't need to protect that, but you probably touched areas that other people touched also. Now, here's the problem. We contact our face on an average of 3.6 times per hour. You cannot stop touching your face. So trust me, you got to wash your hands. So how safe would you feel if you had your house disinfected very well, cleaned very well, everything was put away, nobody has been in your house to infect it, and when you come home from your groceries, you're carrying germs. You're the carrier. Now, you don't know it, but you are. So what if you went to a shower outside of the house, dropped your clothes in a hamper, got under the shower, and completely washed your whole body for 10 or 20 minutes? And then you had a nice, fresh, sweatsuit to put on, towel, and then you go into your house. Would you feel safer doing that? I know I would. And I'd also feel a lot safer if my kids, when they were playing with their friends and they were out at the beach, so many of them are doing right now, hanging out, I think they should wash off before they come in the house. Put them in the outside shower, rinse them off, fresh clothes, come on in. You're welcome to come in, but don't bring your dirty germs in, Now remember, if if somebody is, the most common way you're going to be exposed is touching something that has the COVID on it that somebody else touched before you. You touched it and then you touched your face. So when you enter your house, go straight to the shower, put your clothes in the hamper. Wipe all the surfaces with 70% alcohol that you've touched upon re-entering. And if you need somebody to come over and clean, call somebody to do this for you. There's a lot of cleaning companies that will come over and do this. Now, suppose you get a package that comes to you from the mail, right? You see all these Amazon.com, they're delivering tons of stuff. A package is a very unlikely transmitter of COVID-19. It's very unlikely that a package would have it. But if you're concerned, leave it outside for a period of time, minutes to hours. The warmer and the sunnier, the less time required. Or you may choose to unpack outside and dispose or leave the packaging outdoors for a few hours. Again, use common sense and wipe down the surfaces touched and wash your hands upon re-entering your home. When wiping down surfaces, 70% alcohol is your best choice, as higher percentage of alcohols burn the outer casing of viruses and don't allow the time for absorption through the membrane, which destroys the RNA strand inside. So it needs to be 70%, and you want the higher percentage of alcohol. So here it is. The most likely way you will get COVID-19, short of somebody who sneezes on you that has it, is you will give it to yourself, right? It will be on your hands, and you will touch your face. It'll be in your mucous membranes, your nasal passages, your mouth, or your eyes is where it will happen. We all contact our faces on an average of 3.6 times per hour. Trust me, you cannot stop touching your face. So please wash your hands. I'll tell you, I'm thinking this is a business opportunity. If anybody's listening, you got anybody that knows what they're doing, you can go to Home Depot and buy a kit. It's a wash basin that they use in a washing room. It was $80. It came with the sink. It came with the faucets, the little stand. I put that sink in front of the house, in front of the door, and I simply piped my hose directly into the faucet. Right? It was no plumbing involved. I let the waters dumping onto the ground. It's wash water. It's not a problem. I did divert it a little bit so it didn't fall on my feet. And everybody that goes into the house or out of the house washes their hands. And I have it at my office, and I'll go to my Facebook and you'll see a picture of the wash. And you know what? I have not seen a single business in our area do what I did. Yet they're all touching the same door handles. They're all coming in. Some of them use gloves, so they're touching the same gloved hand to everything. So they're still spreading those germs. You got to wash your hands. You need to wash your hands often and thoroughly. Water first, then soap. Lather up for 20 seconds. Get between your fingers, thumbs, and nails. Now, I would suggest you go out and you buy a nail brush. I know I got one outside. I've got one in the house. I've learned a long time ago. I rinse off and shower a lot outside because my wife doesn't like me coming in and using our beautiful shower after I've been working on the boat, or, I'm a lot of dirt. So I'm required to do a quick rinse off outside with the hose, which I don't know. I kind of like it. I can take cold water. It doesn't bother me. And I've been doing that for a long time, but I have the nail brush outside there. Now, somebody said, well, what about the hand sanitizer? I keep using hand sanitizer. It's not the same. Soap and water washes away those viral particles. Hand sanitizer is relying on killing it with the alcohol. And infectious disease control with OSHA regulations require 5 to 10 minutes of spraying something on a surface and allowing it to soak in before you wipe it off. I have this very great product It's called Cavicide, Cavicide. If you're a nurse or a hospital, you know exactly what it is. It's a hospital quality disinfectant. And right on the label, it says, depending on the viral strain, some need more than 5 minutes of soaking to kill it. So you're walking out of somebody's house or in somewhere and you put a little of that alcohol swipe and you rub it around your hands and you think you're good to go. You're not. You haven't really protected yourself or those you love or those around you. You need to wash your hands. If you can't wash your hands, an alcohol is okay. It's better than nothing. It's better than licking your fingers. But, nothing takes the place of washing your hands. And I think about this, you go into a store. I was over at the Home Depot and I see people going in, they got their gloves on and all right, that's a little weird, but they're all touching the same handle. Not everyone has a glove. So obviously they're sharing stuff. And for you to wash your hands in a Home Depot, you got to go all the way back to the bathroom. And then you got to pull the bathroom door open, which touching something there, wash your hands, and they have the right facility there. But then what do? Then you got to come out and you got to touch the door handle again. So what do? You use your foot. They do. Everybody does. Don't fool yourself. I think nobody else does it. So what you try to do, maybe you push your hand higher on the door where not as many people touch it. That's probably not such a bad idea. Why don't they have a hand washing station in front of the silly store? Right in the front of the door. I don't know. They're too lazy, I guess. So, and you'll never see a surgeon going into surgery who uses alcohol wipes to clean his hands before he does surgery. They spend 20 minutes scrubbing from their elbows all the way down to their hand. They have a special sink that allows them to turn it on and off with their knee. It's a bar down there that they can move with their knee to turn it on and off because they don't want to reach over and touch the sink handle and recontaminate themselves. And then what they do is once they're completely rinsed, then somebody else comes and puts the gloves on them and they're protected with gloves on and they stretch it over them. And that's how they put on their gloves. They must know what they're doing. So the mechanical action of rigorously washing your hands is the key, not the water temperature. You do not have to use hot water. It makes no difference. It's the vigorous washing of your hands, the mechanical action that helps. Proper hand washing is better than hand sanitizer. So if you have a water source, use it and use it often, especially while in communal areas or upon re-entering your home. Again, wash basin right in front of your door, outside shower. Hey, it would even be easy to hook up an outside shower at this point, really. Put a little fence around it so people don't see your half-naked body, if that bothers you. But I want people to send me a message on my email, slimbodylaserspa@gmail.com, or you can go to my website at Slim Body Laser and send me a picture of your new wash station that you have in front of your house. If anybody can do that, send me a picture. I'll give you a free exam. I'll give you I'll give you a protein bar at no charge, a Quest product. You can come in and I'll send it to you in the mail. You won't even have to come in because I am adamant about this hand washing thing, about having a way of not infecting your house, because this is your safe space. But if somebody comes into your house who went to Home Depot, touched all the handles, came in, touched your door handle, you're now infected. Your house has the COVID-19. It could. Remember, you're not really going to get it from somebody who walks up and sneezes on you. So having masks on and protecting your face with bandanas, that's for the reason why you would do that is if you're sick and you don't want to spread germs on other people, you should wear a face mask. It's not going to protect you from other people. Okay? But it's a huge protection when people are around you if you're sick. So if you got a cold, you got a runny nose, and you get a little, you don't, you probably should stay home, period. Somebody might knock you out, put you in a box, see you coughing and sneezing somewhere. I don't know. But, you need to cover up. That's why people use the mask. So when you see all these hundreds of people walking in these videos with all these masks on, it's almost a joke. Any epidemiologist or doctor will tell you that it's not really protecting too much. Maybe make you feel a little better. Okay. So what is this social distancing? 6 feet is what they say. This should cover the respiratory droplets from regular breathing. So 6 feet, people regularly breathe. They push these germs and they can go 6 feet from the person. However, if you cough or sneeze, you need to have 10 feet. Right? So 10 feet, if someone is coughing or sneezing, 6 feet. So I would go with the error and stay at least 10 feet away. And you're not making anybody feel bad if you don't want to go up and shake their hand. I do the little elbow bump, the COVID elbow bump is what I call it. Now, the COVID-19 is currently thought not to be aerosol contagion. In other words, they thought it doesn't really travel through the air. Now, we can breathe a huge sign of relief from that because we're still obviously dealing with a highly contagious virus. So here's another place you get it. Gas pumps. Use a paper towel. Use something. I would have somebody else pump the gas. Go to a station where they pump gas. Good luck on that. But that gas pump is held by dozens and dozens and dozens of people. And then you go and use the gas pump. And then you touch your face. I swear to God, I've really been conscious about not touching my face. I think I touch my face 3,000 times a day. I don't know. I've definitely got a habit of itching and, I'm overcoming it because I can improve. So, gas pumps. Additionally, avoid touching handrails. Why touch a handrail if you don't have to? An elevator control. We all seen that video where those COVID people spit all over the elevator controls, right? Came out of China. I was horrified when I saw that. Store doors which don't automatically open. Basically, all surfaces which others have touched in the last hour or so. Use paper towels, then dispose. In a pinch, use your sleeve. Gloves are also an option, but remember, they're just another surface that COVID-19 can get on. So that's the problem with gloves. You got to throw them out. As soon as you use them, throw them out. Now, here's another nice thing. The COVID-19 virus is easily killed. It doesn't do well in cold conditions, so don't give it what it needs. Sip warm liquids daily every 20 minutes. And it says here that you should stop drinking cold drinks. Now, I think you need water, but it says that it does well when it's cold, that the cold drink that you're drinking can affect that. And that warm liquids every 20 minutes helps. You can also gargle in an antiseptic gargle once a day. And that would be some salt water, fresh water with some salt in it, not a lot, some vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and some tea tree droplets on water. You know what tea tree is? Tea tree oil. As always, you want it warm. Now, it seems to be that sipping is very helpful when it comes to washing the throat. And that's because the mechanical action of warm liquids can help wash COVID into your stomach where your stomach acid will kill it. All right. Now, there's something about this hot air treatments. Has anybody heard about this? This people are breathing hot air. I would advise against this treatment, but there is some value in it. So here's one way that you can use it. And I've done this myself and use it in a sauna. And you can have amazing success in a sauna. So a dry heat sauna is an infrared box that you can go to the health clubs. I have one at home. I believe in sauna. I think it's a wonderful way of of detoxifying and helping the body to heal itself. And what happens is when you're in a dry heat sauna and you breathe out hot air in through your mouth, into your throat. And it's really quite invigorating. It helps to, and what they're saying is it's possible that it can help with this COVID infection. But I'm not telling you. So people, I read online that they're using a hair dryer. Don't do that. That is really bad to take a hair dryer on high and breathe it in. Do not do that. A damaged throat, if you irritate your throat, remember that. If you irritate your throat, then you leave a portal of entry for the infection. Now, mucous membranes can absorb this too, but with an open lesion in your throat because you torched it, because you tried to breathe, that's just not a good idea. So please don't do that. So there's another one you can do. You can also sip lemon water during and after. Nice, again, hydration, drinking lots of water is going to help you to overcome a COVID problem. So, as previously mentioned, I also want to recommend really, really important vitamin C, zinc, and B12. It's absolutely true that supplementation, vitamins and minerals, vitamin B, B vitamins, C vitamins, vitamin E, the essential nutrients, zinc, selenium, are really, really important for defending against infections and viruses. We've known it for years as a chiropractor for 30. I've been practicing 33 years. I double up and triple up on vitamin C anytime I feel something coming on, sore throat or something. So what does that mean? The minimal dosage of vitamin C is very low. When you look at I think it's like 60 milligrams. I'm talking 1,000 milligrams to up to 3,000 a day. Now, you wouldn't want to take them all at one time. You want to do 1,000 in the morning, then you want to have 1,000 in the afternoon, and you want to do 1,000 at night. Drink plenty of water. Now, if you have a little bit of diarrhea called bowel recognition, you've probably had enough vitamin C. Now, I know people that will do 6,000 and 8,000. They'll do, 3,000 in the morning, 3,000 in the afternoon, and 3,000 at night, but they've worked themselves up to that. So vitamin C is critically important. Now, you can also get vitamin C from limes and lemons, and you can put that into your drink, squirt the lemon in and the lime. Vitamin C is incredible. There's also, if your immune system is really compromised, go to some of these vitamins, these IV centers. They're popping up everywhere. There's one called Revive, and Dr. Honor, who is a medical doctor who's located in Rio, right on the cutoff road across from that big Treasure Coast Community Church. Dr. Charles Honor, he does vitamin infusions where they actually drip vitamin called a Myers cocktail, which is a whole bunch of different vitamins. But what you're doing is by dripping them into your IV, you're bypassing the oral route and you're getting a really good dosage right away of vitamins. So that might be something else to help improve your immune system. I have a product at the Slim Body Laser Spa called Intramax. Intramax is a kitchen sink of vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients and plant, flavonoids and all the things you need. It has 415 different organically bound elements that are necessary for life. That's what I do. I do a capful of that twice a day. I know I'm covered. If you're not taking any supplementation, trust me on this one. Get in your car or call the people to get it and get some vitamins, man. You need supplementation. I can't tell you how. If you get challenged with an infection or COVID happens to challenge your immune system, you're going to need those vitamins and those supplements to help you to recover from it. The other part is get enough sleep. Do not stay up watching Netflix to where you're haggard and tired. Get enough sleep. Make sure that your house has been cleaned. Make sure that when you come in and out of your house that you wash your hands before. And like I told you, it's very, very important. All right. So there seems to be a critical lack of testing available in the U.S. right now. Where good testing is done, such as Iceland, a shocking 50% of positive tests were on people with 0 symptoms. So the numbers you're hearing about positive COVID-19 for us is really low. I hate to say that. We are not even testing all the people. Today, we're now the leader in the world in COVID-19 cases. There's more cases in America than in any of the other countries. Now, that might not be true because they don't test. China is 1.3 billion people there, and they're saying that they have less than 50,000 confirmed. I don't know. It's a very small amount. I really find that hard to believe because I don't think they're really testing everybody. I don't think they have the means to do it. And we're going to be testing a lot more people over the next 3 or 4 weeks. And our numbers are going to go way up. And you're going to realize that this is not going to go away. You need to be healthy beforehand so you don't get sick when it happens. And if you're overweight and you want to get some of that fat off, you need to call us at the Slim Body. I'm open. We're helping. It's $2,800. It's a 4-week program. You have all this time at home to come in. And we can see you at the spa. When you're done in 4 weeks, your body fat percentage will be less. Your energy will be increased. Your tissue vivification will be better because you'll have done whole body vibration. You'll have cleaned up your diet with my help. We're going to look at the different meds. If you're not on supplementation, I can make those recommendations. This is really important out there, okay? This is really the message. We're open. We're there. drtred.com, Slim Body Laser Spa. Come in, give us a call. If you're not feeling well, please don't come in. Let us know out front, and we'll all come out and meet you, and we'll talk. But, this is for people to prevent the problem. So I thank you so much for listening. God bless you all. Listen, your body's ability to heal is far greater than anyone has allowed you to believe. Please know that that's the truth. If you need any help, give us a call. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.